Are you financially literate, and what does this even mean? Financial literacy can lead to being able to walk away from a job that makes you unhappy because you're not living paycheck to paycheck. You have more than enough money coming in to cover your chosen lifestyle. You have surplus funds put away for unexpected expenses, and you have an overall sense of calm and control over your money. Sign 1 that you're financially literate is you know and understand your incomings. That's your income. Understanding your money coming in means you understand your paycheck. You know your hourly rate, your penalty rates, and when you are entitled to them. You also know your leave entitlements and the process or conditions required to use that leave, which leads to sign 2. You know and understand your tax rate. In Australia, there is a huge misunderstanding when it comes to our tax system. Many people believe if you earn, say, between 120k to 180k, all of that income is taxed at 37%, but it is a tiered system. The first $18,000 isn't taxed. Money earned between 18k and 45k is taxed at 19%, just that amount. And then money earned from 45k to 120k is taxed at 32.5%. In Australia, another misconception that I see is that many people believe if they make a tax deduction, they get that entire amount back at tax time. Say they purchase a new notebook for $20 that is just for work. Many people think that they will get that $20 back at tax time. This is not the case. That $20 comes off their taxable income, and they get the tax back that would have been paid on that income. So if the tax rate is 32.5%, they get back $6.50, not the full $20. Sign 3 is you know and understand your outgoings. This means you know where your money is going, you know what you are spending your money on. This could mean that you track your spending or you have tracked it in the past, and you didn't need to continue to track it as it's mostly the same each month. And of course, if you do like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up because it really does help to support my channel. Sign 4 is you know and can calculate your savings rate and understand the importance a high savings rate can make. To calculate savings rate, it's savings divided by income. Mr. Money Mustache has a famous table that shows the impact of a person's savings rate and their ability to retire early. It's worth checking out if you haven't before. For us, we have a 50% savings rate, including our retirement savings. So according to this table, it would be 17 more working years for us, although we are not starting at 0. I'll leave a link to this article in the video description. Next sign is you can set achievable and realistic financial goals. This means you set goals and you actually achieve them. They are not just dreams that are unattainable. You achieve them because you know what it takes to achieve your goals, and you're able to break them down into smaller goals. Sign 6 is you understand compound interest, where to get it, and how to calculate it. The balance has this great little graphic that gives a little overview of compound interest. It's interest earned on money that was previously earned as interest. It causes interest and account balances to grow. It's good for savings and investments, but can work against you in paying interest on a loan. Frequency, time, interest rate deposits, and the starting amount all make compound interest powerful. And I also love playing around with compound interest calculators. My favorite one at the moment is from the calculator site. It's my type of fun. And compound interest leads us to our next sign, which is you have a basic understanding of each of the main asset classes. Jago Advisor has a nice little graphic as well that explains the different asset classes. There is cash, so think savings account, equity, so think stocks and index funds, fixed income, mainly bonds, real estate, which mostly is residential and commercial, and commodities like oil, copper, silver, and gold. Knowing about them all doesn't mean you need to invest in them all. I think it's important to stick with your circle of competence. Warren Buffett has famously said that everyone's got a different circle of competence. The important thing is not how big the circle is. The important thing is staying inside the circle. And the most important thing in terms of the circle of competence is not how large the area is, but how well you've defined the perimeter. Sign 8 is you know your interest rate on all of your financial products. This might be things like your mortgage, investment loans, or cars. For example, you keep an eye on your mortgage interest rate. You know if it's competitive or not. And if needed, you're prepared to shop around for a better deal. How are you going so far? I'd love to know your score out of 12 at the end of this video. Many people will wish that this type of financial literacy was taught in schools. That would be my dream job. The problem is many teachers are probably not financially literate themselves. I remember being taught about compound interest in high school, but didn't really get what the teacher was talking about. Anyway, the good news is that it's never too late to get educated. Watching YouTube videos like this one is a great start, along with reading personal finance books and listening to the latest finance podcasts, or even talking to a trusted financial advisor or someone who is in a position that you would like to be in one day. Sign 9 is you understand the difference between good debt and bad debt and the positive and negative power of leverage. Google tells us that good debt is defined as money owed for things that can help build wealth or increase income over time. Bad debt refers to things like credit cards or other consumer debt that do little to improve our financial outcome. One of my favorite quotes about debt is from Peter Thornhill. Spend less than you earn and borrow less than you can afford. Sign 10, you know the fees associated with all of your financial products. These fees may include bank account fees, investment fees on your investments, retirement account fees, annual and administration fees, and any fees associated with your loans, and there could even be costs for paying them out early as well. 1% seems like a small number, but a 1% fee on $1 million is $10,000 annually. That's a lot of money each year, and it would really add up over time. Sign 11 is you understand your retirement account, the investment options available, any fees and any tax benefits that might be available, depending on where you live, of course. Money Magazine had a great summary of the things you should know about superannuation. It's a little bit outdated now, so it would be great to see a follow-up. Some of the main points, and I combined a few here, were: know how much your employer is contributing. Know the tax benefits that come from adding to your retirement account. Know the limit of amounts that can be contributed. Know that your spouse can contribute for you too. Know that you can change how your money is invested. And know when you can have access to your retirement account. Now let's use my fund as an example. Here are the main investment options. I understand the difference between each of these. I also know the risk profile of each of these and the fees associated with each of them. And I also keep an eye and understanding of the transactions that are being applied to my account. I have my employer contributions, and then I also have my insurance costs coming out as well. And then we have sign 12, which is you have a basic understanding of inflation and how it affects your money. I think this graphic from Investopedia sums up the rising cost of goods over time quite well, and hey, I love a coffee too. And this is directly from the RBA. Inflation is an increase in the level of prices of the goods and services that households buy. It is measured as the rate of change of those prices. Typically, prices rise over time, but prices can also fall, a situation called deflation. The cost of goods and services increase, which means the purchasing power of our money decreases. One way to combat this is to counter this decrease by looking at ways to get a higher return on your money than the inflation rate. And how did you go? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, thanks for listening, and don't forget you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook.